Hi guys, and welcome back to Rise Anime. So today's video was actually a request I had from a lovely commenter, and their name is Deathwish V35, and they had actually asked that I do a video on like my top holy grails basically. So that's what I plan on doing today, and basically I'm going to be talking about my top 3 holy grails, and let's go ahead and get right into it. So in third place, I have the 1/8 scale Kyo Sohma by Kotobukiya. And the reason, he is one of my holy grail figures is because he is my favorite Fruits Basket character. And even though I haven't finished the anime yet, but from what I have seen, he's my favorite. And also, cats are my favorite animals, so I think, that kind of speaks for itself. And so, yeah, this one is just, when I had seen him, I thought he was pretty cool. And he came out kind of before, or he came up for pre-order kind of before I officially started collecting scales. So he was kind of like the second one that I had actually ordered as a scale figure, which was pretty exciting. So the first thing I noticed when I unboxed him was how great the likeness of him is to Kyo, which is something that obviously like Kotobukiya always really excels at, is just their spot onness of the characters. And that was something amazing about this figure. And I love the little cat they included with him. It's so cute. Also, like, his outfit, it has some very like subtle shading to it. Nothing too crazy, which I don't know, maybe some people wouldn't really like, but I think it looks fine, especially since, like, looking at his hair, it probably shows up pretty well in this video too. You can see it's beautifully shaded, a nice red color, and I think his hair really makes this figure pop. Like that, along with, the orange of his shoes, and then, the orange cat, it all just like looks really good together. Also, like, the yellow of his shirt looks so good, and I just really love this figure. And you can clearly tell it's Kyo with like that nonchalant pose he has, and kind of that like glaring side eye he's giving. So it's like, this figure is just amazing. I love it. And also, like, his skin has kind of like this nice orangish shading to it a little bit that gives him a bit of like a sun-kissed look. And it just looks really good. And obviously they also have his bracelet there on his hand, which if you've seen the anime you will know is very important. Overall, this is just like a really solid figure. He is a 1/8 scale, so it's not too big. It'd make like a perfect little like desktop buddy or something like that, And something else that I thought was kind of wild after I got him, it is that how much his aftermarket has skyrocketed. Like, I think I got him for about $90 retail, and now I think he's like quadruple that. So, I mean, I guess, like, I don't really look at my figures as investments, but if you ever want to like justify your money spending on that, I would say, that's a good investment. But yeah, so that's about all I have to say about this Kyo figure. I'll let you guys kind of like look at his face up close a little bit there. Get some good views. I know I need to get a little like turntable for these figures to showcase them better. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. And I'll show this little cat version of him up close as well. Very cute. So yeah, that is Kyo in my third place spot for my top holy grails. Okay, and now in second place, I have the 1/8 scale Japan by Broccoli, and he is from Hetalia. Now, this one, I didn't have much hopes that I would ever be able to have this figure, because I guess I'll give a little story on how I did finally get him. One day I was looking through eBay, you know, all the listings that I would always see for him were like at least over $200. And I'm usually really hesitant to spend over $200 on a figure. So I just kind of thought, well, that kind of sucks. I probably won't ever have him. And one day, I wasn't even searching for him. He just popped up when I was looking for another figure. And he was like on an auction for probably like, it was less than $100. I remember it's been a while ago that I got him, but when I saw that, I was like, no way. And so I just kind of kept a really close eye on him. And when the final last hour came up, a little bit of a bid war broke out because I was like, I'm not losing him. And thankfully, I ended up getting the last bid on him for only like $120 he came to. So I was so excited about that. And he actually was like, his proceeds benefited a charity as well. I can't remember now what it was. And I thought that was just kind of a cool thing as well, that all the money I paid for him went to this charity. So that was just kind of a win-win deal. And when I got him in the mail, he was in perfect sealed condition, and I took him out, and I was, you know, really surprised by how nice this figure is. Like, of course, he is also on the smaller side, even for a 1/8 scale, but I just love the figure so much anyway, I don't care. And I'll try to show up close here. Pochi, he's not attached, he just kind of sits on there, so I'm going to be very careful about that. But like, the shading on his hair looks really nice. Like, I love it when characters, like, their figures have black hair and they add like a white kind of base coat to it, or something. I'm not sure how they do it, but it gives it such like more depth as to when like you see a scale figure that has black hair and there's like no shading on it. So they really nailed that on this figure. And the shading on his outfit is super nice as well. It's kind of like almost a lavender kind of shading on it. It just looks really good. Looks really nice, like a contrast to the white suit. And his base has like the cherry blossom petals on it. Obviously representing Japan. And I'll show up close here the little Pochi that comes with him. Cute little dog. I guess there's kind of an animal theme going on here that I didn't really plan. But yeah, and the katana looks awesome. It's just a super cool figure that I'm so happy that I have him. And that about sums up what I have to say about Japan. All right, and for my final number one Holy Grail, it is my 1/8 scale Xenon from Kotobukiya. So this figure, you know, I had seen this figure before I had started collecting scales. You know, I only basically collected prize figures and everything at the time. But whenever I would see this figure pop up, like on eBay or anywhere like that, I always wanted it. But it's just, at the time, I couldn't afford it. And she has a pretty, I'd say expensive aftermarket for the most part. So I was just like, I really wanted this figure. And then after I had started collecting scales, I was like, I really amped up my search to try to find her. And it's like, when I finally found her, she was on AmiAmi pre-owned for like $130, I think. And I had never ordered from AmiAmi before, so I was kind of hesitant to get her from there. And I just kind of waited around all day, you know, thinking if I wanted to try it, give them a shot or not. And, you know, later on I looked and she was still available. And I was like, you know, maybe it's a sign I should just give it a shot. So I ordered her, and I am so glad I did, especially for such a good price. And it is such an amazing figure. Like the pose is phenomenal, the motion, everything like that. Like you can tell she's in battle and all that, you know, from the bullet holes in her scarf to the shell flying out of her gun. It's just so good. And again with Kotobukiya, she looks just like Xenon. And just the shading on her hair, you know, that kind of mint color, how it fades or kind of ombres into a little bit of a darker blue, and her outfit is spot on. I love the rubble that she's like jumping over. It's just a great figure, especially for her coming out in like 2014. Like she looks like she could have just recently came out. I mean, it's crazy. But you know, when I saw her, I mean, do you ever just look at a figure and think it's perfect? Because that's how I feel about this one. And this one will always have a super special place in my heart, and I love it so much, making her the reason for being my #1 Holy Grail. Alright, so I think that kind of wraps up this video for my top 3 Holy Grail figures. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know which of the 3 was your guys' favorite. And thanks for coming back, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.